What is my advice on muscle to mind connection? And that is probably the most important thing in the gym. Somebody asked here, and it's interesting. Somebody says, "Can you coach me, sir? And how much is your personal coaching?" What's up, boys and girls? Hello. We are taking a little time here. We just finished up with which was kind of cool, Instagram's first ever charity, I guess charity event, donation, and I was asked to be part of it, which is incredible. I'm doing great, man. If anybody's wondering, man, I'm enjoying this time. I'm watching Titan grow like a freak. But we have him on a lot of steak and duck eggs. So that's the big trick there. We have been crushing this now since the beginning of the year and getting out tons and tons of just information and little, which is great. You guys, here's the thing. I've been doing this for 40 years. So there's a lot of stuff that I did at the beginning that I just think is common knowledge that probably isn't common knowledge. So those kind of beginning questions I think are really helpful for you guys to remind me what I did at the beginning in certain situations to continue forward and develop and create the longevity that I have in the weightlifting career. Titan weighs 31 pounds, and we just got him measured and everything like that. He is the size of a 2.5-year-old is what the doctor is saying at 1 year old. So as a father, I'm pretty stoked about that aspect of it, because the one thing you can't teach is you can't teach size. So this kid is on the growth spurt of being a monster, and hopefully I'm hopefully helping him create a kind of a gauge. Like when I was 13, 14. Before really hitting puberty, I want to see how much bigger he could be at that stage before he even hits puberty. So, because after puberty, he's going to be twice my size. So that'll be the last, and that's only another 12, 13 years away from right now. So this is
They love the YouTube.
pretty crazy. You guys love the YouTubes. Thanks, man.
Love it. Information's awesome. Really like it. All good.
So somebody asked here, and it's interesting. Somebody says, "Can you coach me, sir? And how much is your personal coaching?" I would say no, and the reason why I would say no is just because of my coaching methods. So just fully understand, my coaching methods are not to enable you or to carry you through this process. You have to do your homework. You have to be willing to read and do research and study. I will not cater to you in that sense. So by you just asking, can I train you? You didn't do any kind of research to look, do I do training? I do train people online. I have the Titan crew. This is kind of common knowledge. And then as you train and do my apps, very inexpensive. But that's the research you guys kind of do. And you'll talk to anybody in the Titan crew and they hate it at first, but they understand it later. At some point, you've got to be harsh on people and don't baby them because they want the answers. They have to go out and attempt these things, and that way they can understand what it really is. And so me to tell you something, you're going to forget. If I involve you, you may remember. I make you do it, you'll remember for a lifetime. And that's how I coach. So I don't coach the snowflakes or the babies in that sense. So you got to be willing to put in the work. I am not if you're going to work with me, I expect the same effort I give. So I might not be the best coach for you. I know that doesn't make me all the money in the world, but I don't want to train everybody. I want to train a small few people that I can make leaders. Because I'm not creating followers, I'm creating leaders, guys. YouTube is kicking ass. Let's see. I'm glad you guys are loving the YouTubes. Uh-oh. Look at Smiley. Come here. You guys I got a special guest over here. Come here. So smiles. Oh my gosh. The little beast is here right now. Let's see. So someone asked, what is my advice on muscle to mind connection? And that is probably the most important thing in the gym. In the gym is the most important thing. That's my take on that. If you don't, coming back again? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, for anybody that's on here, if you don't know what mind to muscle connection is, basically you can go into the gym and do an exercise and not technically feel it. You might get a little blood in that because you're moving around, you're moving weights and stuff. And so you might get some blood flow into that area. But a real mind to muscle connection is really feeling the fibers of the muscle change. You're just all smiles to that. So yeah, that's the number one thing. That's the most important thing. We'll do chest tomorrow, and I'll really talk about the mind to muscle connection, about how you can move through an exercise and just pump it up relative to actually tearing the fibers and feeling and making the muscle move. Because that's one of probably the biggest things. So you guys, I got my crew here. You can bench press with a majority of your arms and very little chest, relative to the chest actually doing the push. I didn't mention that you guys were here. The crew. What? And well, I was going to say to them, is that something you guys deal with when you first started? You could bench press and it could be like triceps and front delt.
Well, the whole thing is like when you first start, you just get the weight as any means necessary to get it up.
That's a good point.
So you get it and you just drop it on your chest, bounce it off, arch your back, just do whatever you.
If you didn't hear him, what he said was when you first start, and this is true for a lot of people that I've seen through the decades, is that when they start, it's just any means possible. Take the bar, take the weight down. Look at him. Any means possible. He just lift it, take it down, and explode back up. Don't care how you do it. Arch the back, kick it, bounce it off the chest, which is probably the worst thing you can possibly do. And it just takes away so much great quality of time. You guys probably never heard this. I don't know if you guys heard this. You ever heard the term that you never grow after 24? You only have until you're 24 to grow?
I grew up at 28. I never worked out before 28.
But did you ever hear the term, get all your training in between 24, because after 24 you don't grow? See, you heard that. That's an old school thing. So just so you know, that's something I grew up with. And so I was in such a rush to get as big as possible and the most mass I could ever have by so the wasting of time when you first start training, this would be an ego thing. When you're young, so one of the things is when you're young and you only have that portion of time to get really monstrous and develop that muscle. Don't waste it. Don't waste it by ego lifting. Don't waste it by not asking questions. Don't waste it by not getting someone that's done it advice on how to do it. Because one of the hugest thing for me is I was around incredible coaches at a young age, so I can get that clay mass. And if you go back to any of the guys that were, is that for Nietzsche?
Yeah.
Is one of the biggest things is start slow, stay true to the nutrition, ask questions to people that have done it, not people that are doing it, because you're going to learn something. If you can find somebody that's in his, let's say you're 20, find somebody in their 30s or 40s that have done it and maintained it and kept it. So that's one of the biggest things for you guys. Now, let me say this to you guys that are older than 24 to 28. You can still develop muscle. You can. You really need to be smart about the nutrition. And again, I'm always going to go back to nutrition. You guys think it is a trick to get it, or you can just take something and get monstrous or anything like that. But you guys, I guess, as you research this and actually be in the fitness industry for a long period of time, you can't maintain or keep anything that is chemically based. It's not real, and it's going to go away at some point. And also, you can't do that kind of stuff for 30, 40 years. So that's one of the biggest things there. But when it comes to training, slow down. Great point that he made is you just try to get the lifts up. Don't do that. Take your time with it. If you take a year, you go into the gym, drop all your weights down to a smaller amount. Like your squat, my boy Colton is here, and we took his squat all the way back down to 135 when he first started for an over-exaggerated range of motion. So if you guys that are legit 6'3s on a 12-inch box is way too low for you. I'm having him do it because he's an athlete, and also that range of motion he can get right now. He's a pup. How old are you now? So you're Doug's age. He's 28. And so we took it back, and now he just hit a 275, almost 315 on his squat. Now, that may not seem like a lot to you, but again, we're talking about a guy that's doing a form that I'm teaching him, which is a completely different form. If we took him into a powerlifting meet, he could squat over 300 easily right now. But it's a shorter range of motion, so there's a lot of easier positions to do there. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about developing the legs, getting stronger over a period of time. And it just took him, how long? A year? A year. And now he just continues to go up doing those extreme lifts, which takes him, I guess the big point there would be most people will not understand that terminology or the understanding of just taking that 1 year, and they're going to waste 10 years of lifting. And by the time they hit 35, they're going to go, gosh, I wish I started that earlier. And now his ligaments and joints are going to be so strong, he's going to train until and his genetics is great because I already know his dad. So he's going to train until he's my age, 73.